Hello students, welcome to e-learning session. Today we'll start learning properties of natural resources. Last year we learned natural resources like air, water, land and minerals. This year we'll learn properties of these natural resources. So first natural resource is air. First property, air is a mixture of several gases. It is a homogeneous mixture. It means all the particles are mixed uniformly together without forming separate layers. Such mixtures are called as homogeneous mixtures. So, in these gases, nitrogen forms 78% by volume, oxygen form 21% by volume, CO2, water vapor and other gases form 1% by volume. So total volume is 100%. Now we learn proper name and uses of natural gases. Now nitrogen. We know that nitrogen is used for growth, formation of proteins, development, etc. While oxygen is used for combustion and respiration. Carbon dioxide is responsible for photosynthesis of plants. It is also one of the respiratory gas and it put out the fire. So this is the most important function of carbon dioxide. While water vapor, they are responsible for humidity and rain formation. Now uses of other gases. Argon, it is used in electric bulbs. Helium, it is used to low temperatures and also to generate lifts in airships. The neon is used in decorative and street light. Krypton is used in fluorescent tubes, while xenon is used in flash photography. So these are the uses, name and uses of gases present in the air. Now next property, air has a mass. For this purpose, take a scale and tie to inflated balloon. Now burst one balloon. So the side of the inflated balloon, it goes downside. So this tells us that air has a mass. Now how this happen, we'll learn with activity and then discuss about it. Now see, two deflated balloons are tied to the scale. Now what we see, both are balanced. Now we will tie one inflated balloon to the scale. Out at one side, what will happen? The inflated balloon side will go downside while the deflated will go upside. Why this side gets inclined downside? This is air is a mixture of different gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide. These gases have mass. So air is having combined mass of these gases. As it is having mass, so the inflated balloon side it goes downside while the deflated remain upside. Now next property, air occupies space. For this purpose, we'll take one glass in which we'll put one crushed paper. Now see, this paper is dry. We can listen its sound also. Now carefully we will put it in we will immerse the glass in a bottle. Okay, slowly we have to do this with very slowly and gently. Now immerse this glass in water and now take it out and check whether the paper is wet or not. No, it is not wet. We can see, we can listen its sound also. Now we'll crush it again and dip it in water. Now see, this is wet paper. It means the paper it remain dry because of air present inside that glass. As air is having mass, it means it also apply or exert force. So the force exerted perpendicularly on a unit area is called as pressure. It means air can exert pressure on any object. So what is pressure? Pressure is a force exerted perpendicularly on a unit area. So pressure is equal to force upon area. As force is denoted by F, area is denoted by N. So F by N is equal to P, that is pressure. The unit of pressure is Newton and unit of area is square meter. Therefore, unit of pressure is equal to Newton per meter square. That is Newton per meter square means Pascal. Now atmospheric pressure. The pressure created by air is called as atmospheric pressure. We know that air is made up of minute particles and these particles are very energetic. So they collide with container and exert force. As a result, pressure is created. We learn with activity. Now take a balloon and blow air inside it so it becomes inflated. It becomes inflated means many particles of air get enter inside the balloon and they start exerting pressure. We know that they are highly energetic, so they collide with the wall of the balloon and exert pressure. See the movement of the particles towards the wall of the balloon, sides of the balloon. So they create pressure on the sides of the balloon. As a result, balloon remains inflated when we blow air inside the balloon. So when balloon remains inflated, we know that. Now see, they are exerting pressure. At the same time, air which is present outside, it also exerts pressure from outside. Now what is the effect of the air which exert pressure from the outside? We learn with activity. Now this is injection syringe without needle. Now the arrow shows barrel of the syringe. Now the lower part is called as plunger. It acts like piston. When we pull the plunger, the liquid enters into the barrel. When we push the plunger, all the liquids or fluids goes out of the barrel. Here in the diagram, plunger is pulled backside. Now and it remains at its place because the air is present in the syringe. Okay. Now when we pull the plunger, the air enters through the mouth into the barrel. Now the air inside the barrel and outside the barrel is exert equal pressure. As both pressures are equal, the plunger remain at backside. Now see this barrel and plunger. When we pull little bit plunger backside, it remain at its place because the air inside the barrel and outside are equal. Now see, when we close the mouth of that barrel, what happens? The plunger did not remain at its place. Now we'll change the syringe. Now see, that person is trying to push the plunger, but that plunger is not going. Why? Why this happen? See, when the mouth is closed and when we try to pull the plunger, it again goes back. Let us understand with activity. See the plunger which acts like a piston. When we pull it backside, what happens? There is a much space for the air. Now very little particle of air are present inside that barrel. But on that plunger, greater number of particles are acting. Means they are exerting pressure from outside. So as a result, the plunger did not remain backside. It goes back to its original position. So when we try to pull it, it did not remain back. It goes to its original position. See, we are trying to pull it. What happens? The plunger goes again back to its original position. Why? Because inside the barrel there is very less air. So there is no air pressure. I hope you understood. If not, again we'll revise next week or next time. Now do you know students, under ordinary conditions, atmospheric pressure at sea level is about 1,1400 newtons per square meter. So it can be measured with the help of barometer and the unit of atmospheric pressure is millibar or it is measured in bar. As we go higher above the sea level, the atmospheric pressure decreases. Okay students. Now next point, in 1726, the Swedish scientist Daniel Bernoulli put forth the important principle. What is that? The pressure of air decreases when its velocity increases, and while the pressure of air increases when its velocity decreases. It means if a body is moving through air, the air pressure decreases perpendicular to the direction of motion, and when the air in its surrounding flows rapidly from higher pressure to the lower pressure. See the activity. Here a glass with full of water is taken and one straw is immersed vertically and we are blowing through our second straw. When we blow, the air on that straw moves rapidly. So above that vertical straw there is no air pressure. So when we blow very fast, the water from the glass, it comes on the surface and we see the fountain. I hope you understood well. Here we'll stop now learning of air. We'll meet in next session with revision and new concept.